Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We got another review for you. And we're also going to kind of do a little bit of a comparison to a past release of this model. We have here, this will be the locomotive we'll be reviewing. This is a B40-8, let me try that again. This is a -840 BW, decorated in BNSF's current paint scheme, the Heritage 3 or Premium Heritage, or however you like to classify this scheme. And we also have a past release of the same locomotive right here. This is also an Atlas -840 BW. However, this one is from a 2009, late 2009, early 2010 release. So it's got a little age to it. Now you might wonder, well, what's really the difference between the two locomotives besides the paint scheme, of course. But the fact is, this older release is equipped with the QSI Titan decoder, while this locomotive here is, according to, if we read Atlas's information on this locomotive, it's actually equipped with the ESU V5 decoder. So there's going to be some pretty big differences mechanically and electronically with these two engines. So we're going to review this locomotive and compare it with this Santa Fe example here. Just a quick prototype backstory on these locomotives. These engines made their debut back in 1990. They were built specifically for the Santa Fe Railroad. They were the only customer of this particular version of this locomotive. Now, I know there's going to be people that's going to jump on and say, well, what about Amtrak? Well, basically the only thing those two locomotives shared was basically the car body and the prime mover, and that was pretty much it. Other than that, they're two totally different locomotives. The B40-8W is built specifically for passenger service, while this version built for freight service, and thus Santa Fe being the only customer for this freight version, while Amtrak had the passenger version. So, and the -8 series actually started in the mid 1980s with this Spartan cab, as we call them, example, with the narrow front nose and this unique cab design right here. And these, I believe, came out in the, I'm going to say, around 84, 85. Somebody might can correct me on that if I get that wrong, but they basically had a pretty extensive run, about 6 or 7 years. Ironically, these ended up being the final 4-axle locomotives, or among the final 4-axle locomotives being built. They were specifically built to handle high-speed intermodal trains, especially these BW versions that were built for original owner Santa Fe. They were meant to handle Santa Fe's crack intermodal trains, very high-speed trains. That was pretty much their sole purpose. They cranked out 4,000 horsepower, making them the most powerful 4-axle locomotives ever made. And they, depending on what you read, the top speed was either side of 80 miles an hour, depending on what site you go on, what they gesture as being the top end of these locomotives. Now, Amtrak's version could go well in excess of 100 mile an hour, somewhere in the 125 to 100, well, it's probably the 120 to 125 mile an hour range. So, but anyway, that's kind of a little brief history on this locomotive. So let's quickly take a look at these two models. We'll start with the engine we're going to be reviewing, which is BNSF 510. One of the -8s that's still in service on the road is a uh, as local power. So they've kind of been demoted from their intermodal days and kind of went to becoming local, running locals along with the GP60Ms and the various other Jeep units that's still left on BNSF's roster. So, but as we go down the side of this engine, we see there's a pretty good detail on this engine. You see the coupler cut levers right there. Of course, the pilot-mounted ditch lights right here. It's kind of a little difficult to see them, but there they are right there, and they do work. We have MU cables right here. The brake hose, maybe a little difficult to see because of the coupler, but right there. And of course, we have the Atlas engines are equipped with AccuMate couplers. We will change those out with KDs in due time. As we come down the side, paint looks pretty good on this model. I haven't found any blemishes yet. Looks nice and crisp. Of course, there's the number 510. Of course, you can see the crew members right there in the cab. Also, you get a little baggie here with the sunshades, and the little black pieces right here actually go up under the fuel tank to cover up the screw holes. That's another thing I was going to mention. I unboxed this engine off camera, so because Atlas has changed the way they package these engines. They are now screwed into a base pretty much identical to that of the Intermountain locomotives. So I elected to do that off camera. So, but anyway, continuing on down the side, pretty good truck detail right there. Not bad, if I do say so myself. So it's probably not on the level of, say, a Scale Train's rivet counter engine or Atlas or Athearn Genesis, but still pretty good detail. You got to remember too, this tooling is, gosh, it's probably 20 years old now. So these engines made their debut way back in 2000 with the Spartan cab, and then I believe about a year later with this BW version. So so this tooling is quite old, but they have updated it somewhat. Coming down the side there, you see the dynamic brake grills right there. Got fuel tank details right there, and of course the air tank details. Looks like pretty good work on the yellow striping there. Looks like the labeling, you could actually read that under magnification. That might be something I might have to explore a little bit later, but we'll come down the side here. We got the Leslie 3-chime air horn right there. It might be a little difficult to see because of the black paint, but you can see it right there. And of course the exhaust deck, which is actually pretty well done. And I'm going to come over the top of that and let you see the difference in the two. It appears this newer version has a little bit better depth to the exhaust stack than the previous release. We'll go ahead and fly over the top of that and look at this older version. Then we'll come over here and look at this newer version. It probably would help if they painted the insides of these black to add more depth, but that's just me. Now also, these B40s actually went under an extensive overhaul by BNSF, and so there are some prototype discrepancies with this paint scheme, namely in this area where you see the radiator grills. You notice they are still in their original, how do you want to call it, their original as-delivered appearance. When BNSF rebuilt these wound up getting slightly raised radiator grills, similar to what you would see on the current ES44s, in a way. So, but anyway, like I said, that may be just Atlas trying to get the most out of their tooling that they can, not really going for 100% prototype accuracy. But That would be kind of nice to see if they would kind of improve on that a little bit. Of course, come to the back, yeah, more train line hoses, MU cabling, the Accumate coupler right there. But other than that, the paint and decaling look good on this side. So why don't we flip this thing around and see the other side. Okay, now we're looking at the conductor side of the locomotive. Um, Not really a whole lot to add here. It's pretty much the same story, second verse. We do have a brake wheel right here. And of course, the brake chain, which is actually a really nice feature, and that is an actual chain, by the way. Um, so that's really a nice, neat little feature right there. You will have to, I believe, remove this brake cylinder right here if you do want to remove the body of this engine. You basically just pry that little brake cylinder off, and then you take the body off. So anyway, coming down through here, again, we got fuel tank detail right there. The handrails look nice and straight. They are kind of a plastic like a lot of other manufacturers do. Of course, we got the AC unit right there. Again, dynamic brake fans right there. There may be a little bit better look at that air horn right there. And of course, the CAD, and you see the B40-8W designation right there in the GE cards. Nice printed number boards right there, windshield wipers, and of course the large BNSF logo on top, and the antenna arrays. So, kind of comparing the two, there's not really that much difference in the level of detailing between the two. Again, we're talking about almost 20-year-old tooling. So, but that being said, let's go ahead and fire these two up and see what the difference in the QSI decoder versus the current offering with the ESU look sound sounds like. So hang on just a second. Let's hook up the DCC system and try these two out. Okay, we got the Santa Fe version equipped. The Santa Fe version here on the layout, equipped with QSI look sound. Again, if I didn't mention it before, these are both Atlas Master Series locomotives. So without further ado, let's go ahead and fire this engine up, see what we got here. This will be the QSI decoder. Okay, there's the sound right there. Of course, headlights off, headlights back on. Bell, horn, and of course it's set with the Amtrak horn. Okay, let's go ahead and move it forward. Of course, flashing ditch lights, which is incorrect, but and we'll hit the dynamic brake. Like I said, there's a few little quirks with this QSI decoder. Wheels maybe a little dirty on it. Oh, I noticed the handrails fell off. Oh, that's not good. Okay, well, I'll have to see if I can find the handrails for that engine. But anyway, there's the QSI equipped Dash 840. Now let's try out the ESU look sound version. So hang on just a second. Okay, real quick, let's go ahead and fire this engine up and see what we got here. So we're going to enter stock address, which is 3, enter, and we're going to hit F8, and let's see what the ESU sounds like. This does has a single speaker in it, so it may not have the volume that, say, like a Scale Trains or a Intermountain would have with the same decoders. So, but other than that, nice lighting and everything. Number board's nicely lit, so let's turn the headlight on. Okay. What are we on here? Oh, there's a headlight coming on. Okay. Let's turn the dynamic brake feature on. That's a nice sounding dynamic brake on these ESU decoders. So let's turn that off. Bring the engine to a stop. Put it in reverse. Headlights lit up. And back we come with it. So go ahead and wrap this up. It's not too bad of an engine. Atlas, I always thought it has nice, smooth running locomotives, and with the ESU it sounds really nice. Like I said, probably not to the volume with the. Let's turn that bell off. Probably not to the volume of, say, a Scale Trains or Intermountain or any other model equipped with that decoder. Like I said, just kind of maybe a deal with one speaker versus two, but anyway, and of course there's the headlights, nice and bright, looks good. Blow the horn. This engine having flashing ditch lights, again, that is incorrect. BNSF does not use flashing ditch lights on their locomotives, FYI, so we'll have to figure out how to turn that feature off on this decoder. But, you know, like I said, my thoughts, pretty solid locomotive. Hope you enjoyed the review. Hate to kind of rush the ending, but hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.